In the last episode, the 997 Turbo roared to life, but not without its issues. It was right around here that I noticed a massive fluid leak under the car and quickly turned the car off.
Something's puking out of something. Obviously, we've got a little bit of a problem.
Something's puking out of something.
Wait a minute. I think I know what that is. Aha! That's gotta be it. Thankfully, that's a simple and easy fix. So I'm pretty sure I know why power steering fluid was going everywhere under the car, and I think it's because of this little guy. So that is a power steering plug. It was installed on the car when I got it, and when Tim and I were installing the engine, we noticed the one power steering line wasn't connected. In fact, it looked like this, with a plug in there. And since we didn't know why it was there, we removed it and plugged the power steering line back in. But now I think I do know why. I'm pretty sure that is the power steering line that feeds the stock slave cylinder, and I no longer have a stock slave cylinder. So how about I stick that plug back in and see what happens. With any luck, that solves that massive leak. But speaking of leaks, why don't I solve this massive exhaust leak too? I'm gonna put the AWE exhaust back on. This is gonna be temporary because that exhaust is obviously pretty bent and broken, but for now, you need some kind of exhaust. If any of you guys work with a desk, let me introduce to you the best desk I've ever had, the FlexiSpot E7 Pro Premium Standing Desk. This is a powered motor desk that moves up and down with the push of a button. It's really that easy, and it's also really easy to put together. This desk came with a really nice monitor stand that moves around freely, and it comes with excellent cable management underneath that's really easy to put together and just, well, manage your cables. You can see how clean it looks after the fact. This thing really is game-changing, guys. I have this set up for my height when I'm standing, doing my editing, and I have it preset for when I want to sit. So one button. And just like that, I pull my chair up and I'm in sitting position. I get tired of sitting, I want to stand. Well, it's that easy, guys. This thing is awesome. Check out FlexiSpot. I've got a link in the description below. You can even use my code YTB30 for $30 off an order over $500. This thing is super solid too. It's more solid than my non-motorized desk. Okay, back to the exhaust install. When Porsche designed the 911, who knows if their intent was to make an exhaust install and removal easy, but they certainly did. I've never installed an easier exhaust than on this 997 Turbo or my 996 Turbo. Along with the exhaust obviously comes the pre and post cat O2 sensors, which again, like the exhaust in this car, could not be any easier to get to. Super easy to get a wrench on there. You know you have those cars where they have O2 sensors in the worst spots where you can't get a wrench on them. No, not in this case. Now I love me some AWE products. The exhaust they gave me for my Silverado ZR2 was amazing, and I'm sure this exhaust used to be amazing. However, they don't make it anymore and it is beat up. So what do you guys suggest I replace this with? Exhaust installed, might as well throw on the intake, right? A couple more things to plug in. Make sure this thing's running at least somewhat decent. Gotta have the Y pipe as well. I guess there's not a whole lot of point of installing that without any intercoolers. But I'll put this on here and then at least I'll have a MAF hooked up. Two MAFs. That's what another plug goes to. I didn't realize there are two MAFs. Correct me if I'm wrong. It might be called something else on this car. I don't know. All right, intakes are on. Oh boy. I put gas in it, but I want to put more in it. I got 5 more gallons because I don't want it sucking just purely all the crap at the bottom. Even though I cleaned the gas tank out, but still, it doesn't hurt. Try my best not to make a mess. And I already started with a mess. Oy. Fire hazard galore. Filled up. Now I'll be curious to see if the needle in the gauge cluster moves, because if it does move, that means I got the fuel pump hooked up and in the hanger correctly. So the difference between this time and last time, hopefully that power steering fluid doesn't leak anymore. Got the exhaust on, O2 sensors in, intake in, a couple more sensors plugged in. Here we go. Full exhaust plus O2 sensors plus non-leaky power steering fluid, hopefully, plus some intake piping. Hopefully this equals a nice running engine. Gas gauge moved, so that's good. It's looking good. Definitely, I can hear the power steering pump whining because it's probably completely out of fluid. But I don't see it leaking anymore. Wow, there's a lot of smoke in here. Let's put some fluid in this boy. Oh yeah, she was empty. This is why I'm using the cheap stuff, guys, because you never know what leaks are going to pop up. You never know what issues you're going to have. I don't want to waste good fluid. And this is a great way to flush all the crap out of there. Wow, this is taking a whole quart, isn't it? You know what else probably takes a whole quart? All right, let's do it again. It's sounding good. I think it needs some more intake piping, but there is no fluid shooting out from underneath. Oil pressure is great. Frickin' running, boys. It's frickin' running. And we're not spewing out crap everywhere. This really couldn't be going much better. It's frickin' alive, boys. The car would start up and idle just fine, but after a few seconds, and that really varied, it would shut off, and I assume this is because of the lack of intercoolers and intake piping. So I am just a little curious what happens if I sort of somewhat install this. How the f does that even go on there? Plug in the MAF, or whatever that sensor is there, and see what happens. Any codes? No codes right now. That's kind of crazy, guys. The car is technically not idling for a long period of time, but did confirm that that power steering leak was from not having it plugged. So at least that's fixed.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I won't leave you on a cliffhanger this time. There's a ton of work to be done still in this car, but hey, it's running.
So how do I solve the engine stalling issue? Well, I think it's by installing a lot of these parts.
Of course, I'm not going to end the video there. I got to get more of this intercooler piping on and actually install the intercoolers themselves. Now, I didn't take them off, so this is going to be a little more difficult than simply bolting them on because I don't know if I even have all the parts to install them. And that one over there, I know at least the mount is bent, and I don't know if I can bend it back. I looked up new ones and they're like $600. Not for the intercooler, for simply the mount that surrounds them. So hopefully I can salvage that one or find a used one because I'm not paying 600 bucks for a little metal bracket. So I'm gonna gather the parts that I have, the intercoolers that I have, and see if I need to order anything, see if I can get these bolted up. And they are GT2 intercoolers, so that's pretty cool. So right off the bat, this thing is absolutely filthy. The shroud isn't secured, so I don't know if they didn't do enough trimming or what, but I'm gonna have to secure that a little better, for sure. Well, I did find this, thanks P.O. Definitely have some C-clips and stuff in there that I need. These intercoolers, honestly, are gonna be temporary. I actually need to run outside to one of my storage tubs because it has the other intercooler and I think more intercooler brackets, heat shields and stuff, because I'm missing the heat shields down there. I gotta do some digging, but it's cold and it's dark, so this is not ideal. Since it's cold and dark out there, I'm gonna put a sweatshirt on. But if you're interested, this is a relatively new shirt. Simple, clean, classy design. You can get it at boostedapexdesigns.com. It's 25 bucks.
This is mainly what I'm looking for here, I think. Yeah.
I just want to focus on the driver's side, the uncrashed side. So that looks pretty messed up. This one looks maybe a little messed up. So there's that. Side panel. Yeah, this has nothing to do with the intercoolers. All right, don't need that. Side section piece. Not sure what that is. That's trash. Reinforcement, okay, don't need that. It's another body panel. So we got the intercooler and one shroud. Might be missing more than I thought. I think this indeed may go here. Here we go, that's what I needed. Figured out where it goes, but I came to the conclusion that I don't want to reuse this because, well, it just looks beat up and crappy, and the passenger side is just absolutely unsavable, so it's probably better off that I just get some new ones. And also, I'm gonna have to remove them in the future anyway when I do coils and spark plugs. So for now, I'm just gonna leave them off and get these intercoolers installed. And first, I gotta cobble up some way to secure this. This isn't the best or uber permanent way to do it, but it will work. And like I said, I've got plans to upgrade these intercoolers in the future. This will do for now. Now the C-clips aren't in here. Let me throw some of those in. Okay, here's 3. All 4 are in. 2 mounts left, so now what? this stuff can go back outside. Well, I do have some unfortunate news. I looked through my stash and I don't have the other shroud. This is the only shroud I have for the passenger side intercooler. Well, I'm gonna need one of those. And I'm not even sure if I can save this bracket. And I'm not even sure if the intercooler is any good anymore. Let's see if this will line up in any way, shape, or form. It's not horrible. I might be able to bend this back. Oh, this thing is really, really bent, guys. Luckily, it's easy to move, though. Bracket's sort of going into place.
With enough hammering and jiggling, I'm confident I can get this thing close enough to hold the intercooler properly.
I think I can make that work. It's not too bad. But I'm going to take it off and bolt it all together on the bench. Okay, all 4 mounts are in. I don't have the clips in because I need a JB Weld mount up there or do something with it.
JB Weld? What are you thinking? Well, there's a hole in the intercooler. Do you have a better idea?
That sucks that there's a hole in it.
So yeah, the crash resulted in this mounting tab being broken, which leads to a massive hole in the plastic end tank. That will lead to a massive boost leak, obviously.
Should not be able to see light in there by the flashlight. Yeah, that's obviously going to leak.
These intercoolers are going to be getting an upgrade, but for now, I just want to get the car running and driving, so I'm ditching that mount, cleaning it, and filling it with JB Weld. This should work well enough to at least get it driving. And at the end of the day, if boost pressure forces the JB Weld out, it's not going to cause any damage to the engine or anything like that. It's just going to have a massive leak, which is fine for now.
Now while the JB Weld is drying and I figure out what other parts I need to order for the intercoolers, I'm going to work on the fenders. I still have the passenger side fender on the old chassis, but I did remove the driver's side. Hopefully I can remember how this gets installed because there's a certain order with all the headlight bracketry and all that good stuff. I already have all the lines in here. I've got the washer tank. Oh, I see. There's a bracket there that is doubled up because I'm silly. That bracket's got to come off because it's already on the other fender. Absolutely terrible design. You know what I just thought about, guys? I'm not going to put the headlight brackets in there because I would like them to paint in here at least somewhat. I might even take this off.
Hey, kudos to me for labeling these bolts. PPF is great. It's a wonderful idea, protects the paint, and there's a good bit of it on this car. However, it's not fun when it's been on there far past its expiration date.
Well, this f***ing sucks.
I have to remove this PPF before the car goes for paint, and none of it is coming off easily or in big chunks. It's all just kind of turning to mush. So for now, I'm going to abandon that and just move on to fully bolting up the fender. Another case of not doing things in the right order. The washer tank has got to come back out. I told you to do things in the right order. Go fuck yourself.
There we go. Fender nice and tight. Now let's put everything else back. So the fender, minus the liner and a little bit of miscellaneous wiring, the headlight bracket, etc. Oh, and the PPF removal is done. I just have a whole nother one to do on the other side with an evap canister and even more nonsense.
Based off this footage, you guys can see that it is wet out here, but what you can't see is that it's also really cold. So I don't feel like being outside in the cold and wet to remove this fender and other associated parts from that area. I also need to remove some ducting from the quarter panels on both sides, and I just don't want to do that when it's nasty out and I have to get this video done. So